Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced to the United States that their longstanding relationship has come to an end after 150 years of fostering an economic and military alliance that endured two world wars, the Great Depression, the Cold War, and the events of September 11. The United States and Canada are now parting ways. Prime Minister Carney delivered his message during a national television address to 41 million Canadians from Parliament Hill last week, attributing much of the breakdown to the tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump. Prime Minister Carney said, "The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over. We must fundamentally reimagine our economy. We will need to ensure that Canada can succeed in a drastically different world." The impactful messaging, which has also been embraced by Carney's conservative rival Perry Poliver, highlights the extent to which resentment towards the United States has dominated the ongoing Canadian federal election campaign, following numerous threats from Trump to designate Canada as the 51st state and the significant deterioration of the economic relationship between the two nations. There appears to be minimal interest among voters for soft reassurances. Before I proceed, please consider showing your support by clicking the like button. Your engagement helps to connect with more viewers like you. Thank you for your support, and don't forget to share your views on the topic in the comment section below. Carney intentionally reiterated the term "O" multiple times while presenting Canada's reaction to Trump's recent announcement regarding the so-called Liberation Day tariffs. This response included the implementation of 25% counter tariffs on U.S. auto imports to Canada, aimed at addressing Trump's tariffs on Canadian automobiles, steel, and aluminum. These measures are intended to penalize what Trump perceives as insufficient efforts to prevent a minimal quantity of fentanyl from illegally entering the United States from Canada. The automotive sector has been fundamental to the collaboration between Canada and the United States since 1965, when the two nations entered into the Auto Pact. This agreement facilitated tariff-free trade in automobiles and played a crucial role in developing the industry in Ontario, the most populous province in Canada. Carney said the pact marked the beginning of a 60-year period of close cooperation, partnership, job growth, and prosperity. That era has now ended unless the United States and Canada can agree on a new comprehensive approach. Some U.S. politicians also echoed Carney's words. Senator Bernie Sanders wrote on X, "Trump ended the several hundred-year friendship between the U.S. and Canada, our neighbor and closest ally." Senator Lisa Murkowski said, "The tariffs on Canada are going to hurt my state. It's going to hurt our neighbors there." Prime Minister Carney further said Trump's tariffs would also cause broader harm, predicting a rupture of the global economy, ending an era of U.S. dominance dating back to the World War II. He added, "The 80-year period when the United States embraced the mantle of global economic leadership, when it forged alliances rooted in trust and mutual respect and championed the free and open exchange of goods and services, is over." So what's next for Canada? Carney described the situation as a tragedy but emphasized that the new reality would compel Canada to undertake two actions. First, to renegotiate its relationship with the United States, and second, to spearhead the establishment of a new world order comprised of countries with similar values, which would exclude the US. Initially, Canada planned to enter into discussions for a new economic and security partnership with Trump following the election on April 28. Carney emphasized that during a phone conversation on March 28, he and Trump reached a consensus that the newly elected Prime Minister would initiate these negotiations. The second thing Canada must do, Carney said, is find new best friends and build new alliances. He said Canada must be looking elsewhere to expand our trade, to build our economy, and to protect our sovereignty. Canada is ready to take a leadership role in building a coalition of like-minded countries who share our values. We believe in international cooperation. Following his recent swearing-in as Prime Minister, Carney's first international visit was to France, followed by a trip to Britain aimed at strengthening Canada's ties with its two founding colonial nations. In addition, Carney has recently held conversations with the leaders of Germany and Mexico, and Canada has recently finalized an agreement with Australia to provide a new radar surveillance system for the Arctic region. Recently, Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly visited Brussels, where she conveyed to all Europeans that the relationship with the United States had in essence come to an end, without explicitly using Carney's terminology. We know that the relationship will never be the same again, she said at a meeting of NATO foreign ministers. That's my message to Europeans. The relationship with the US will never be the same. Joly also told Europeans that the Trump was attempting a global reset on trade that had begun with Canada. We buy more from the US than the UK, France, China, and Japan combined, Joly said. When you treat your best client the way we have been treated, it means that you want fundamentally to change the way you are operating. Joly issued a similar warning last month when she hosted G7 foreign ministers in Charlevoix, Quebec. If the US can do this to us, their closest friend, then nobody is safe, she said ahead of the meeting, which included US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Canada is the canary in the coal mine. Joly reiterated that Canada was prepared to exert maximum pressure on the US to try to end the tariffs. She said Canada's tariff retaliation had now reached 60 billion Canadian dollars. So what is the future of Canada-US relations now? For Canada, a glimmer of optimism may have emerged from last week's conversation between Carney and Trump. During the call, the president addressed Carney as Mark and referred to him as the Prime Minister, a notable shift after months of mocking former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau by calling him the governor of the 51st state. Since that exchange, Trump has refrained from his usual jabs at Canada on social media and in the Oval Office. He may be currently preoccupied with global issues as the repercussions of his new tariff policies resonate worldwide. However, Canadians have reached a point where they are no longer willing to take anything for granted regarding their relationship with the United States. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for new videos on important international topics.